number 1 and number 2. For number 1, a lot of it is done for us. So even though it's done for us, we're going to write over top so that we just have that muscle memory. Okay, let's see. First, so I'm going to, number 1, I'll let you guys volunteer. You have to tell me first in words what to do, and then tell me in numbers. Everybody ready? Okay, number 1, who can tell me the first step in words? Mason? Awesome. How many, and so what, tell me that in numbers. How many times what will go into what? 2 goes into the first, 2, our divisor, goes into 2, the first digit of our dividend. 1 time, where do we write that 1, Mason? On top of the 2. We just said how many times 2 will go into 2. It goes in 1 time, so we put that 1 right above the number that we're putting our divisor into. Okay, good. Next step. Tell me in words first, then numbers. Colin.
We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor.
We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor. Now tell me in numbers. What does that mean?
We multiply 1 times 2.
We multiply 1 times 2, because 1 is the digit we just got. 2 is our divisor. 1 times 2 is what, Colin?
2.
2. Where do we put that?
We put it under the first digit of the dividend.
We put it under the first digit of our dividend. Since when we divided, we saw how many times the divisor went into the first digit, not the first 2 digits. We put the answer to our multiplication problem under the first digit. What's the next step? Tell me in words. Aaron.
We multiply the answer, not multiply. We subtract
There you go.
the answer to our multiplication problem from the first digit of the dividend.
Good. We, in case you didn't hear her, Erin said we subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from the first digit of our dividend. So now tell me in numbers. What does that mean? What are we doing?
2 minus 2.
2 minus 2, which equals 0. So we just divided, multiplied, subtracted. What do we do next? Tell me in words. Lena?
Now we bring down.
We bring down, which means we go to which part of our division problem?
The dividend.
The dividend. Remember, this is a good way to remember. Dividend's a really long word, right? Right? What's the biggest part of a division problem? Mason? The dividend. So the number inside the bracket is the biggest part of the division problem. Dividend is the biggest word, so the dividend matches the biggest number, okay? So we go to our dividend.
And we bring down the 8 because if you can't bring down the 2 because there's already a digit under it.
Good, so we go in order. We check the first digit. Can we use it?
No,
Why can't we use the first digit?
because there's a digit under it.
There's a digit underneath it. So then we go to the next digit. Do we ever skip digits? No, never skip digits. Can we use the next digit? How do we know?
Because there's nothing under it.
There's nothing under it. Will we take this second digit and the third digit down? No. How many digits do we bring down at a time, Lena?
Once.
1. 1 digit at a time. So we bring down this 8. What do we do to show that we've used it?
Put an arrow under it.
We draw an arrow. And now we just created what, Lena?
An 8.
A,
Dividend.
a, what kind of dividend? Old dividend?
A new one.
A new dividend. And what is our new dividend? 8. Look what would happen if I brought both. Don't do this, just watch. Now I'd be seeing how many times 2 goes into 86. Does that help me at all? Is there any basic fact with 2 even close to 86? No, the largest basic fact for 2 is 2 times 12, which is 24. 24 is really, really far away from 86. So, that's part of why we don't bring down 2. Okay, so we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down. We have a new dividend. It's 8. What do we do next? Tell me in words. Victoria.
We see how many times our dividend can go into our new, we can see how many times our divisor can go into our new dividend.
Hold that thought. Victoria, what did you say? What was the next step? We divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down. Now we
divide.
We divide again, which means we
See how many times our divisor can go into our dividend, our new dividend 8.
Okay, so what does that mean? We're seeing how many times what will go into what?
2 will go into 8.
How many times will 2 go into 8?
4 times.
4 times. Where do I put that 4?
You put it above the second digit of our dividend.
I put it above the second digit. I put it above the digit I just brought down. What digit did I just bring down, Victoria?
8.
So I put that 2 will go into 8 4 times above the 8. Okay, what do I do next? I just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided. Michaela, what do I do next? Tell me in words first.
You multiply the digit that you just got from
Not from.
our divisor.
Not from. By the divisor, which means we're doing what in numbers?
4 times 2.
We're multiplying the digit we just got 4 by 2, our divisor, to get what?
8.
8. We line that up with our new dividend. Oops, I forgot. Now what? Tell me in words. So we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied. Carla?
Now we subtract.
What are we subtracting? Don't tell me in numbers. Tell me in words.
We are subtracting 8.
Nope, you're telling me in numbers. Who can tell me in words? Colin, let's see, well, no. Smith. Carla, listen closely.
We subtract the answer to a multiplication problem from our new dividend.
We subtract, so Carla, listen, we subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend. So Carla, what do? Tell me in words.
We subtract the multiplication.
Not the multiplication. We can't subtract multiplication. That would mean 8 minus. Can we do that? Smith, can you repeat the step? Carla, listen close.
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
So Carla, try again.
We subtract the answer from our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
Okay, which means we're doing what in numbers? Now tell me in numbers.
We're subtracting 8 minus 8.
8 minus 8, which equals?
0. 0.
0. Okay, Carla, make sure turn it to your microphone so that we don't hear the background noise. We just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted. What do we do next? Zadie?
We bring down.
We bring down. Where do we go?
We go to the last digit in our.
Remember the trick. The way to remember that I just told you. What was the way to remember? Mason?
Dividend is the longest word.
Louder, louder, louder.
Dividend is the longest word
The dividend's the longest word, so how does it help us to remember?
because the dividend
You got it.
is inside of a bracket is the biggest number.
So the biggest number is always inside the bracket. We know that has to be the dividend because the biggest number is the same as the biggest word. Dividend's the biggest word, the number inside the bracket is the biggest number, so that tells us the biggest number in the bracket is the dividend. So, where do we go to bring down, Zadie?
And the last digit of
Well, we just go, not necessarily to the last digit, we just go to
next.
Zadie, I'm asking for one word. I just told you how to remember that one word. We go to the dividend. We start at the beginning. Can we use the first digit?
No,
Why?
because there's a digit up.
There's a digit, so we go to the second digit. Can we use that?
No,
Why?
there's an arrow.
There's an arrow. So then we go to the third digit. Can we use that?
Yes.
Why?
Because there's no arrow or digit.
There's nothing underneath it. So what do we do to show that we have now used it?
We put an arrow.
We put an arrow. Then we write our digit. We just came up with a new dividend. What's our new dividend? 6. Okay? So now we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, multiplied, subtracted, brought down. So now we do what in words? Cullen.
We divide, we see how many times our divisor goes into our new dividend.
Okay, so in word and numbers, that means we're seeing
How many times 2 goes into 6?
how many times our divisor 2 goes into our new dividend 6, which is how many times?
3 times.
3. Where do we write it? Above what?
Above the 6.
So
And
above the digit we just,
brought down.
remember, you're always writing the division answer above the digit you just brought down. Unless it's step 1, then you're just writing above the last digit of what you first did. Okay, so we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, yes, divided. So now we, come on guys, that's the same people. Aaron,
Now we multiply.
what do we multiply?
We see how many times.
Try again. It always starts the same way. It's actually, the multiplication step is always the same exact words, no matter where you are in the problem. We multiply the,
We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor.
see, same words every time. Every time we multiply the digit we just got by the divisor. It's just the digit we just got changes. So if we multiply the digit we just got by our divisor, what are we multiplying? 3, the digit we just got, times 2, our divisor, which equals 6. We line that up with our new dividend. What do we do next? We just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied. Zadie,
We subtract.
we subtract. What do we subtract? Tell me in words.
We subtract our new dividend.
Somebody help her out. Michaela?
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
Good. Zadie, can you repeat?
We subtract the answer from our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend, which means we're doing what? Tell me in numbers.
We're subtracting 6 minus 6.
We're doing 6 minus 6, which equals?
0.
Okay, we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted. What do we do next? First, we try to do what? Mason? What do we try to do first before we compare? It's the step that always comes after subtract. Divide, multiply, subtract.
See if the answer we just got is less than our.
But there's something we have to do first. You're right. That's the next, but don't do that. That does not help. Notice that it does not help. I want you to notice how you're not thinking about this anymore. It is okay. We all make mistakes. Lena, what do we check for? Make sure you're listening.
If there's any digits to bring down.
If there's any digits to bring down. So Mason, what do we check for before we do what you just told us? We check for something to bring down. So we go to which part of the problem? Our dividend. We start at the beginning. Can we bring this 2 down?
No.
Can we bring the 8 down?
No.
Can we bring the 6 down?
No.
Is there anything else to bring down?
No.
So now we do what? Compare, which means we're looking at the answer to our subtraction problem and what other part? Our divisor. And we're making sure the answer to the subtraction problem is what?
Less.
Then the,
Less than what is it?
is 0 less than 2?
Yeah.
So are we done? So normally what would we do with this number?
You would have a
We would have a remainder, but do we have a remainder in this problem?
no.
So do we write R0?
No.
No. Okay, number 2. Now I'm going to start picking sticks. We have 745 divided by 2. Aaron, what do we do first?
We divide to see how many times our divisor can go into the first digit of our dividend.
Ooh, I like how you said that without me having to say anything. Aaron said, we divide by seeing how many times our divisor will go into the first digit of our dividend. I like how you said that. Let's see if maybe we can keep that up. So in numbers, what does that mean?
We're seeing how many times 2 can go into 7.
So we're seeing how many times 2, our divisor will go into 7, our first digit of our dividend, which is how many times, Aaron?
2 times.
Think about it. What's 2 times 2? 4. Let's see if there's something closer to 7. 2 times 3?
6.
That's really close, but let's check one more time. 2 times 4?
8.
That's too big, right? So 2 goes into 7 how many times? 3 times. Now this is where you need to be really neat because it's kind of squished together. So be real neat and small. And we're going to write our 3 above 7 because Aaron told us that 2 will go into 7 3 times. Okay, what do we do next? Lena,
We do 2 times 2.
tell me in words first.
We multiply the divisor.
But let's use it in the right order. We so that we say the same order every time so we don't confuse ourselves. We multiply the
We multiply the digit we just got by our
not dividend, that would be 3 times 745.
divisor.
So say it one more time all together. We multiply the,
We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor.
which means we're multiplying what numbers?
2 times 3.
But let's go in the right order. Is 2 the digit we just got and is 3 our divisor? So let's say, even though it doesn't matter, let's say it in the right answer, in the right order. That way we remember the steps. If we say them the same time every single time, we'll remember them, okay? So, tell me again. We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor, so we're multiplying
3 times
3, the digit we just got, times 2, which is 6. Where do we put it? Under the first digit, second digit, or third digit?
2.
The first. Okay, we just divided, multiplied, now we, oops, Casey's on here. Victoria,
Now
we subtract, what do we subtract?
we subtract the first. We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our first digit of our dividend.
Good, we subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from the first digit of our dividend, which means we're doing what in numbers? 7 minus 6, which equals?
Which equals
1. So we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, now we, Carla?
We subtract.
You're not listening, I can tell because you were not even looking at the camera. I'm going to call on somebody else, that's a consequence. Colin,
We bring down.
we bring down. Carla, listen. We just divided, multiplied, subtracted, so now we do what, Colin?
Bring down.
Where do we go to bring down?
Our dividend.
Our dividend. We start at the first digit, can we bring it down?
No.
What about our second digit?
Yes.
What about our third digit?
No.
No, not yet, at least. So what are we going to put under that 4 to show we're bringing it down?
An arrow.
An arrow. What did we just create?
A new dividend.
A new dividend. What is that new dividend?
14.
14. Mason, next step. We just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down. We divide. What do we do? Tell me in words. Flip-flop those words. Flip-flop new dividend and divisor. You've got all the right words. You just need to flip-flop dividend, new dividend, and divisor. So we see how many times otherwise we're saying how many times 14 can go into 2. Can 14 go into 2, Mason? It's too big. So flip-flop those words. We see how many times the divisor can go into our new dividend. So tell me in numbers, what does that mean? We're seeing how many times 2 can go into 14. How many times is that? What's 2 times 6? Mason, what's 2 times 6? 12. Let's see if there's something a little closer, especially because it's 2. What's 2 times 7? 14. So, how many times does 2 go into 14? 7 times. Where do we put that 7? Above our 4. Remember, we brought down the 4. We always put the answer to our division problem above the digit we just brought down. Okay, what do we do next? Zadie. We multiply, which means we do what? Tell me in words. We multiply the?
Digit we just got by our
That would be 7 times 14. Is that what we're doing? So we're not multiplying our digit we just got by our new dividend. We're multiplying. Multiplication is the same words every single time. The words do not change. Just the digits and the places change. Come on, Zadie.
We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor.
We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor. Remember, the divisor is the digit, or the number sometimes, but not in 4th grade, outside of the bracket. So, what does that mean in numbers? If we multiply the digit we just got by our divisor, what does that mean in numbers?
We're doing 7 times 2.
We're multiplying 7, the digit we just got, by 2, our divisor, to get 14. We write that we line that up with our new dividend. Michaela, what are we doing next?
We subtract.
What are we subtracting? Tell me in words.
We're subtracting the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
Good. We're subtracting the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend. So in numbers, that means we are subtracting
14 minus 14.
14 minus 14, which equals
0.
0. Carla, what do you have in your lap? You should not have your iPad out. If that is your iPad, you need to put it away. If that is not your iPad, you still need to put it away. It should not be out. Okay. Zari, we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted. So now we
Compare.
Are we ready to compare?
No.
No. What do we always do after we subtract? No matter what, we check for.
We check for anything else to bring down.
So, where do we go to check for something to bring down?
Back to our dividend.
Back to the dividend. Let's go digit by digit. Can we bring down this first digit?
No.
What about the second digit?
No.
What about the third digit?
Yes.
Yes. What are we going to put to show we brought it down?
An arrow.
An arrow. And we just created a?
New dividend.
What is our new dividend?
5.
Good. Hey, we just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down. Smith, what do we do next?
We divide. So we're going to see how many times our divisor goes into our new dividend.
Okay. In numbers, what does that mean?
We're seeing how many times 2 will go into 5.
How many times our divisor 2 will go into our new dividend 5? How many times is that, Smith?
2 times.
2 times. Remember, we write the answer to the division right above the digit we just brought down. We just brought down the 5, so we put the answer above. Thank you, Smith. What do we do next? Lena. We just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided. Now we, what do we multiply? It's the same words every time.
We multiply our new
We multiplied the in the same order every time so we don't confuse ourselves.
We multiply the.
Colleen, can you help her out?
We multiply.
Tell her so that then she can repeat.
We multiply the digit we just got by a divisor.
Okay?
We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor.
We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor. Remember, multiplication, the words don't change. The digits and the places change, but the words do not change. So, Lena, if we're multiplying the digit we just got by our divisor, what are we multiplying? 2, the digit we just got, times 2, our divisor, which equals 4. We're going to line that up with our new new dividend. And Zari, what do we do next? We just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied.
Now we need to subtract.
We subtract. What does that mean?
We subtract the answer from our first digit.
Nope. It's the same every time, except for the very first time. We subtract the...
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from the first digit of our dividend.
That would mean we would do 7 minus 4. Is that what we're doing?
No.
No, so we subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from the... Smith, can you help her out?
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
Okay, Zari, can you repeat?
We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend.
Okay, which means we're doing what in numbers?
We do.
You have it on your page. You don't have to, you should have it on your page. We're subtracting the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend. What are we doing in numbers?
We're doing. We do 5 subtract 5 minus 4.
5 minus 4, which equals?
1.
1. Smith, what do we do next? We just divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted, brought down, divided, multiplied, subtracted. Now we
Check for anything to bring down.
check for anything to bring down, so we go to the
Dividend.
dividend. Can we bring down the first digit?
No.
Second digit?
No.
Third digit?
No.
Are there any more digits?
No.
So now what do?
We compare.
We compare. So we're seeing if the what?
If the answer to our subtraction problem is less than our divisor.
Is the answer to our subtraction problem 1 less than our divisor 2?
Yes.
So this means, what is this?
1 is our remainder.
So how do we show that 1 is our remainder?
We write R1
Where? Down here?
behind the quotient.
Behind the quotient. Very good. Now please, some of you try to fit the quotient and the remainder on the top of this bracket. Please don't do that. That's going to confuse you because then you're not lining places up, which means if you don't use all the places, you might confuse yourself. The remainder goes to the side, not way over here, but to the side. Okay, you have 30 minutes to do your independent practice. So everybody should be able to finish or mostly finish in that 30 minutes. If you are using your time wisely and you are remembering your steps and following them, you will finish in plenty of time. I will pass out the homework. I don't think there is a front. It's just like the homework help. Please use those homework help boxes. But you can do, I'll figure out what numbers.
Yeah, it's just.
You can do numbers 1 through, you can see how much you can do the first part, so numbers 1 through 6. But on the printed page, not your book page, except you can use your book page because you have the old version of the book. So it's the same as what I'm passing to them. so I'm not going to pass it out to you. Any questions before you begin? Victoria, quickly.
It says
You do not have to check. You can check. It will be helpful, but you do not have to check because we never went over that in depth like we should have. Yes, Zari.
Dewey, so you don't want us to print out the math homework?
Yes, I do want you to print out the math homework. It's just Lena's the only one that does not have to because she has the old version of the book. Yes, Smith.
Do we need a separate sheet of paper for any of this?
You do need a separate sheet of paper for the back of the independent practice, and then for numbers 7, 8, and 9 on the homework. I'll write that on the board. So you need a separate sheet for IP, which is independent practice, numbers 12 through 14. And then the homework, numbers
7 through 9.
7 through 9. Remember, do not use the same separate sheet. Number everything and be neat. Any other questions? Aaron, go ahead and begin if you're ready.
for numbers 3 through 5, do we have to use exclamation and check?
Victoria, can you answer that question? Victoria, why are you able to answer that question?